Hey guys, it's Megan from Shape It Up Fitness, and I'm here with my hot date.
Hey girl.
Hey. Stephanie Braunwarth from Waconia Women's Health.
Hey.
And this is Healthy Banter.
Healthy Banter!
So we're at Lola's tonight, and we are going to come at you with some healthy eating tips and talk about our kind of philosophy when we go out to eat.
Yeah.
Things we do, things we eat. We have a whole bunch of food in front of us, and it has been...
It's really hard not to eat it.
We already snuck some...
Lobster deviled eggs. They're amazing.
Oh my gosh, these you guys are where it's at Lola's. And, okay, so if we want to start off by picking... Last week we said we were going to do a giveaway for the Vital Proteins for anybody who shared our video. So we have all your names.
32 names. Thank you so much for sharing the video. 32 of you. So the winner gets this container of collagen peptides.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. So who's the winner?
I don't know. They're all sticking together. Jacqueline!
Jacqueline Hillstrom!
Yeah, girl!
Woo!
You can pick it up at Shape It Up today, or tomorrow, because you're...
Not today.
Not today.
No.
Because you're a Shape It Upper. Thank you.
Awesome. Congrats, Jacqueline.
Okay, so first of all, when you go out to dinner, like the first thing the waiter asks you is, what do you want to drink?
What do you want to drink?
What would you pick?
Well, I usually start with water. I usually have some water on the table.
So make sure you order water. Tip number 1, stay hydrated. But then, we would obviously order fun stuff.
Yeah.
So tonight we're drinking some Pinot Noir. It's Lola's House Red, and it's
Camera lady is too.
It's really delicious, and it's fun. It's kind of fallish out, I feel like, in the weather today. So that's what made me order red.
So we usually order wine or a cocktail, right?
Yeah, I would totally do a vodka club soda
With some lime.
some lime, some
Yeah.
lemon, throw whatever fruit in there. Sometimes I even ask them just to throw a mint leaf in there because it's kind of fun. It's like a mojito without all the sugar,
Right.
and they already have the mint behind the bar.
Behind the bar.
So they would totally do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
You said to me that you sometimes get martinis,
Yeah.
which shocked me.
Why?
I don't know, you don't seem like a martini drinker.
If the bartender claims that they can make a really good martini, I will get a martini.
I am so excited to try a martini. Just like I tried that deodorant. Will you smell me?
So
you
we
guys,
need to do a sniff test. Megan purchased the native deodorant last week. She wants to know if it's working or not, so we're going to do a sniff test. And she smells like coconut vanilla, and that's what she put on, right?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm 2 days into the new deodorant, and
Are you liking it?
yeah, I just keep smelling myself though. I'm like, do I smell? And
So
apparently,
you're feeling a little paranoia?
yeah, I'm paranoid.
Theo.
Yeah, like, because usually, like, the coconut vanilla is not something I would normally put under my armpit. It would be like,
No, but they have lavender too.
I know, but lavender's what I like rub on my ears and on my feet when I go to bed.
Another brand of non-toxic deodorant I like is Primally Pure. So there's native, there's Primally Pure, there's Primal Pit Paste. I didn't talk about all of them last time, but those are some of the others I like.
So if you bought deodorant, we want to know, how do you smell?
How are you liking it?
Has it come to you yet? Mine just came over the weekend, so.
Oh, big day.
Big day. Yeah, big day. Okay, so let's start talking about food. Food is like one of my favorite hobbies. I love it. I love
Mine
going
too.
out to dinner. It's so much fun.
Me too.
And so when you go out to dinner, like, overall, why do you go out to dinner, I guess?
Well, it's just such a social thing. So, like, I'll get together with my friends, and, like, that's what we'll do. We'll go out for dinner, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a social thing. It's a way to connect. It's a way to unwind, and it's a way to have fun.
Yeah. I sometimes do it for convenience.
Yeah, me too.
I
me
end up
too.
at Lola's all the time after like a workout with girlfriends, or we're just like, okay, we don't want to go home and cook,
Yeah.
so let's go grab some food. But when you go out to eat a lot, you can't always be splurging. It
No.
can't be like, oh my gosh, I'm going out to eat, so I'm going to get a burger and french fries and a big
And a
beer.
huge plate of nachos for an appetizer.
Yeah.
Right?
So no. So when I go out to dinner, I like to stay true to like things I would normally or typically kind of eat at home.
Whole food.
Whole foods.
Yeah.
Real foods. But I'd also pick things that I don't typically make at home.
Me too. Me too. I want something fun that I wouldn't think to make myself, but something that still includes real whole food. Right?
Yeah, and I think that Lola's does a really good job, and why I find
agree.
myself here a lot is their food is fresh. It seems to always look really good. It's consistent. I don't know. Can you scroll in and check out? Like we have
These
our
are just some side salads.
Mine has cheese on it,
Mine does not.
so super easy modification right there, guys. If you are lactose intolerant, just no cheese. Easy swap.
And we usually do dressing on the side instead of getting it tossed in, because usually there's a lot of dressing, depending on where you're at, depending on what restaurant you're at, there can be a lot of dressing, and dressing adds a lot of just like extra stuff that your body doesn't really need. And so I always ask for dressing on the side, because then I can control how much dressing I put on my salad. And I don't really do well with a ton of cheese. I don't feel well with a ton of dairy. So I usually, if there is cheese on the salad, I usually ask for no cheese. And usually if there's croutons, I ask for no croutons. I'm that annoying person, but
that's okay.
I'm paying for it, and it's my meal.
Yeah, and I don't think people this day and age think that that's annoying anymore.
No,
it's so common. So don't feel bad asking for
modification.
Yeah,
and we've even talked to the owner here, and he said, they don't really mind, minimal modifications if necessary. So,
okay, so after you get your beverages, then they always come around and they're like, "Do you want an appetizer?"
If I'm really hungry, the answer is usually yes. What about you?
I usually am a no. I'm usually a no appetizer person.
I love appetizers.
So, but I was excited to be dining with you tonight because I usually don't do appetizers. So when you're like, let's get the lobster deviled eggs, I was like, that seems awesome.
So we got the lobster deviled eggs here. So usually when I do an appetizer at a restaurant, I'll pick something that's not fried, and that is either, a protein or a veggie. So I don't usually do a fried appetizer. I don't usually do something like nachos or something like that,
because that'd be really heavy too.
Well, yeah, and then I know I'm going to get a meal and I'm going to be full and I'm just going to probably overeat.
Yes.
So the lobster deviled eggs at Lola's are a really good option because they're light, but they're really protein dense. And we've already eaten a couple of them and they're really delicious.
Yeah, and super satisfying too. So if I was just here with you maybe on a casual night, we could just get like the deviled eggs, we could get our side salads, a couple glasses of wine, and we could call it a meal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because we've had like protein, our vegetables, and it would be super awesome.
I'm also really excited. We haven't tried it yet, but the chef of Lola's, what's his name? Chris, who is awesome, by the way. He brought out the snapper ceviche for us to try. So I would also get this for an appetizer because it's just some snapper ceviche. They use gluten-free corn tortilla chips, just some jalapeno, lime juice. So that's another appetizer I would get because it's really light, it's protein dense, and it looks really pretty too.
It does look really pretty.
On like a summer night like this.
I know, check out this background, you guys.
I mean,
this is beautiful. It's almost my bedtime, but I still am really happy.
We're staying up late for you guys.
We're staying up late and drinking wine on a school night.
So the snapper ceviche is also something that I would get at Lola's.
Again, both of these are things we would never make at home.
No.
I mean, deviled eggs.
I wouldn't make them at home, so I would order them at a restaurant.
Yes. And then some other things on the menu or on just menus are like, we talked about oysters that sometimes we would get, or
oysters
mussels.
are super full of nutrition, and I know there's oysters on the Lola's menu. So raw oysters are full of iron and minerals, and those aren't normally things that you buy, fresh and take home and shuck yourself and eat raw. Maybe you do. I don't.
Invite us over if you do.
Yeah, seriously.
We'll come dine with you if you're
oysters and
shucking
rosé.
Oysters. Yes.
Oysters are super good for your fertility. They're supposedly an aphrodisiac.
Ooh,
so,
should've got
date
some.
night. Hashtag date night.
Hashtag date night.
Just make sure you have plenty of deodorant on.
Yeah.
But oysters are also something that I would get for an appetizer.
Yeah, sometimes if I was to get an appetizer, it's not always that I'm super hungry. I'm just anxious to like start the eating process.
Yeah, no,
so I'm like, give me something to munch on.
I think we both think that eating at a restaurant is an experience, right?
And
it's not just something, we're not just like going through the motions, but we both truly really love food and we love good food. Mm-hmm. And so we just want to have an experience and
then like talk about it too. And I feel like anytime I eat oysters with somebody, you like can't not talk about the process, how it tastes.
It's a fun way to eat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so then after you kind of get the appetizer, you got to make that big decision. Like, what am I going to get for dinner? So what are some of your tips when you're deciding, like, for the big entree? Like, what are you going to pick?
So it depends on how hungry I am, and B, also what's on the menu that I wouldn't normally make at home, right?
Back to that again, what we normally wouldn't make at home.
So if I'm, wanting to do something lighter and I'm not super hungry, I would probably do, the Lola's dinner salad with like a piece of salmon or a piece of chicken on it with dressing on the side. That's kind of my go-to especially if I'm eating lunch at Lola's, that's what I'll do. If I want an entree, if I'm feeling more hungry, if it's like, we're out at like a special dinner, I'll usually do some sort of like fish.
Yeah.
Like the halibut on the Lola's menu looks really nice. I don't usually make halibut at home.
No.
So that is something I would order. Even like, on a lot of menus they have like a half chicken or something like that. So I would do that.
So basically you would pick like a protein.
I make my choices based on the protein, and then depending on the side, I may modify.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I love a baked potato. That's like I would love a baked potato more than any kind of meat. I'm weird. I just love baked potatoes.
Okay.
So that would be like, okay, if I can get a baked potato with some kind of dinner.
See, I don't love baked potatoes.
See, everybody's so different.
I know.
I mean, and I make baked potatoes at home all the time.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I still think at a restaurant they're super yummy. But I would do like baked potato, a bunch of vegetables, whatever their vegetable of the day, or broccoli if they have it, would be, and then some type of meat. But I would probably eat like half my meat and my whole potato.
See, I'd eat all my meat and half my potato.
So each to their own, right?
Yeah. So I would, if I were doing an entree, I would probably pick it based on my protein. I would make sure that the sides are pretty veggie heavy.
Yep.
And then maybe I would do a side salad beforehand. Maybe not. Again, it depends on how hungry I am. And the other thing I was gonna say is if it's like a long period of time between your last meal and you're doing like a later dinner, another thing I would do is have a snack like a couple hours before.
So you're not starving.
So that I'm not starving and I'm not eating like everything in sight. Because another thing we talked about as a way to eat healthier at restaurants is skipping the bread basket.
Oh yeah. As hard as it is, you just have to say no, you guys.
Just say no to the bread.
Just say no, and almost the easiest thing I think to do is just say like, no thanks on the bread basket. Out of sight, out of mind. Once it's there,
if they
looks at
offer
you.
a bread basket, just say you don't even want it on your table.
But like nicely. Like,
don't
the bread
be like,
basket is just gonna stare at me. So I just am gonna pass.
And usually the bread in bread baskets is white, it's empty nutrition, it doesn't have any nutritional value. So
here's why we skip it though. We skip the bread basket so we can have empty calories.
Some of these,
And we don't want like, I know everyone always gets hung up on the calorie talk, and I just said that, like, these are our empty calories. We don't count calories, but it's like, which one do you want tonight? You can't have both.
No.
Because when you start having both, then you have to buy bigger pants. So it's easy just to say no to this because this is so much better. It adds to the experience.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of wine is not gonna hurt.
No, and it's delicious, and it is actually just made out of berries.
So this is actually the entree that we picked for tonight. It's the seafood stew pot. So again, it's not in like a heavy cream sauce or anything like that. It's full of seafood. It's full of protein.
Like, look at these nice little pieces of shrimp.
And again, we would probably skip the bread.
We would skip the bread, and it just looks so good. I'm so excited about it.
I know. I can't wait to eat it.
Okay, so some other...
And we would probably split this entree after our salads and our appetizer, right?
Yeah, like that's our plan for sure.
Yeah, like we would split the entree. And then, do we want to talk about how we usually don't order dessert?
Yeah, we typically don't order dessert. Why we don't do dessert is, number one, you're already full. So if I really wanted to do dessert, like if I was like, oh my god, I can't stop thinking about blah blah blah's chocolate cake, I would rather just go get the chocolate cake when I'm not already up to here in food.
Or that's when I would just get a dinner salad with a piece of protein, nothing else, and then
like no
have
wine,
the dessert.
no wine.
Yeah, and
then
then
you're not having wine and cake.
No, because usually if you drink,
unless it's your birthday.
Because usually if you also have the wine, it then affects your decision making, right? And usually when you drink, you do overeat. So then you drink and you overeat, and then you order dessert, and then your blood sugar,
is all
gets
crazy,
and then you hang on to fat, and then you wonder why you're having a hard time losing weight.
So it's that simple, guys. Pick one treat per meal. Is it the bread basket? Is it the wine? Is it the dessert?
But I don't even look at it as like a treat.
Okay, we won't call it a treat. Pick one of those 3 things
Or
per
maybe,
meal.
okay, or maybe instead of a cheat, right? I don't really like the cheat.
I hate the cheat word.
So maybe instead of a cheat, you pick a treat.
Yeah.
Okay. There's no cheat. There's a treat.
Okay, if that's confusing, just one option. Either you have the bread or the bun on a burger or a sandwich, or you have the wine or the cocktail
or the dessert. If you do all of the above,
you're going to have to come to Shape It Up way too much.
but also it's going to kind of mess with your blood sugar and mess with your body's ability to feel satiated, and then it's going to continue this like vicious cycle of wanting more and more and more. Those empty carbs, that sugar, etc., kind of messes with the pleasure center in your brain, and it affects your ability to stop, and it also increases cravings and that sort of thing.
Yeah, you don't want to be craving stuff all the time because that's no fun.
No.
Then you're like trapped in the craving stage.
Yes.
Okay, so just a few other tips on things that you maybe would order. This maybe is not Lola's related, but just like in general restaurant related.
Yeah.
Some words to avoid might be like pan fried, crispy, dipped, Alfredo,
Cream sauce.
cream sauce,
Yeah.
anything with like a lot of added cheese. This is all just added fat and sodium. Some safe words, I guess, would be grilled, steamed, baked,
For me, it's gluten-free.
gluten-free.
Yeah, I usually look for the gluten-free icons. I feel better when I don't eat gluten. So I'm usually looking for the gluten-free icons on a menu.
Which people are getting so good at having those.
Yes.
We always ditch the bun. So if we get a burger, because I love a good
I do.
burger.